Hello, welcome to another episode of Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark. Be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. We not only deal with child abuse, but we deal with different abuses that's going on, and we bring awareness to what all is happening. Okay, please be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. I always like to start off with a Bible verse or two. This one, since it's not about child abuse, will go learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, plead the case of the widow. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 17. Hi there, good to see you too. And hello, Chris. Thanks for coming. Hello, everybody that's here. So, I had noticed a predicament that Tennessee is in, and it's not just happening in Tennessee, it's happening in different states in the United States. We call this abuse of power. Hi there, old lady O. Good to see you. This is a down and out abuse of power. The state of Tennessee arrested over 600 sober individuals for DUI. Whoa, that takes my breath away. Hearing all that, it's over 600 people who have been arrested and stuck. You see how this had affected them as well? The over 600 sober DUI arrests sparked concern. Tennessee lawmaker demands transparency. This was Wednesday, December the 4th, 2024. Some Tennessee lawmakers are concerned about how law enforcement is enforcing DUI charges. That's after it was discovered the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation charged hundreds of people with DUIs despite claims that they were completely sober at the time. What? The TBI charged hundreds of people despite? Okay. It still charged them despite the claims. Sober DUIs are when people are pulled over, arrested, and charged with a DUI even though they are stone cold sober. Police also given sobriety tests to young man via Getty Images. Drivers are given field sobriety tests when they walk in a straight line, but some people may have mobility issues that make balance hard. A lot of times we have seen them on the TV where it's not TV but YouTube, and people had shown where the cops are lying and somebody will walk the straight line and he goes, "You didn't walk a straight line," and then they go ahead and arrest. Many of the people charged with sober DUIs say the slow arrest and legal process have destroyed their lives. Blood tests and other drug tests can take months to come back with results compared to a breathalyzer test. Our sister station, Fox 17, did a deep dive into sober DUIs, which caused us to want to look into this issue in our area. We spoke with a Chattanooga attorney Wednesday who says he has dealt with several cases of his clients being charged with a sober DUI. I've had clients get upset, like, why is this case not dismissed? Yet they got the facts and shows that they, even though that they proved that with a test that they're not drunk or anything, they're still prosecuting these individuals. Numbers from the TBI show there were over 600 sober DUI arrests in the last 7 years. That means after the initial charge by police, tests revealed no alcohol or drugs in their system. One of those arrests involved David Dutton of Murfreesboro. He was pulled over for having a tail light out and accused by police of crossing into the shoulder. Officers performed a field sobriety test. Dutton told police he didn't drink and had back issues that affect his balance. But officers still arrested him and charged him with DUI. State Representative Lowell Russell, Representative Vanori, contacted the TBI after someone he knows was recently arrested for DUI while completely sober. According to the data sent back by the TBI, 609 people were charged with DUI whose alcohol and drug test results ultimately came back negative since 2017. Now, there's some other states that's going through this conflicts, and they're going ahead and setting people up who's on probation. And even though they had a clean drug test, they end up setting them up and putting a dirty test there. I'm thankful to one person that I know who went to the hospital after they got, the test, and to show back he got a clean test. So he was able to dispute it and fight that, even though they gave him a saying that he had a dirty test. Thank God he was smart enough to go demand a test from the hospital and take his own test instead of believing their words. I can't talk, Tammy. I'm busy. According to the data sent back by the TBI, 609 people were charged with DUI whose alcohol and drug test results ultimately came back negative since 2017. Representative Russell then sent a letter to TBI's director asking the agency to post lab test results for all DUI arrests in the Tennessee Incident Based Reporting System. Here in Chattanooga, attorney Robin Flores says he has representative clients in lawsuits who were wrongly charged. The issue is whether or not the officer manufactured probable cause to make an arrest, and that's the gray line here. Probable cause is a very low threshold. Flores tells us that in Hamilton County, officers normally do not breathalyze. He believes it's because those tests are more susceptible to challenge. When officers opt for a blood test, they have to wait about 3 months to get those results back. If the DA wants the results tested for drugs, it can take longer. It adds to the stress of having to take off of work, having to come to court, sitting around all day and all morning just to have it passed one more time because there's no blood work back. Representative Russell says he plans to work with the state administrative office of the courts on its new 75 million database to make sure dismissed DUI cases are clearly posted or that the information can be easily given to the public if requested. So, and here it is with the WZTV. In an ongoing Fox investigation, we've uncovered hundreds of people arrested for driving under the influence. We learned that several of those drivers are fighting back, with one driver receiving several $1,000s in a settlement with Goodlettsville. Now, one lawmaker has taken action, pushing for more transparency regarding sober DUI arrests. Although David Dutton, we heard him a few minutes ago, it said that he had back issues, but he's 76 years old as well. But okay, is a tough competitor at a game of pool. His drink of choice is anything but hard alcohol. Dutton said he orders tea when he heads to the pool hall. However, two Rutherford County Sheriff deputies didn't believe the Vietnam veteran when he was driving home from his regular game. The deputies reported they pulled Dutton over for a taillight out and for allegedly crossing into the shoulder that led to a field sobriety test. Well, I ain't that balanced. I'm 75, Dutton can be heard telling the deputies on body camera video when he was about to take several steps, heel to toe forward during the test. I just couldn't walk it straight or keep my balance, said Dutton to Fox 17 Kelly Avelino. Well, I would have trouble myself because I had a past stroke and one of my sides don't act just exactly right. So I guess y'all, if they do that to me, I'll be going to jail. I'll be one of the statistics right here, right? And there's Andy. Dutton was arrested for DUI, spending 6 hours standing in a crowded jail cell. There's enough indicators based on everything that you have taken something that shouldn't be in your system, said one of the deputies to Dutton in the video. I'm fine. I didn't take anything, replied Dutton. Fox 17 News obtained data from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation showing more than 600 sober DUI arrests in the last 7 years. Dutton is one of those people, despite the deputy who arrested him, mentioned in his special qualifications to identify impairment. I am a drug recognition expert for the state, so I kind of have more of a certification on why it's impairing you, the deputy said during the exchange. Wow. And you don't know, you might have about drug recognition, but do you have about a doctor degree, knowing that this person has this ailment, this illness, these other things? Are you being that dumb and that facetious because you're a police officer that you using your power? This is abuse of power. We also discovered the most law enforcement agencies in Middle Tennessee don't use breathalyzers on scene. Most responded that blood draws are more accurate. Tennesseans charged with DUI when completely sober have told Fox 17 News previously they lost their jobs, their insurance, and their reputations for waiting for test results to prove they were sober and the case to be dismissed. I think Tennessee needs to pay them people a lot more money since they lost their livelihoods. They'll probably be losing their homes where they live. It just seems like the nightmare that would never end, said William Rose. It was one of the most stressful, most traumatic experiences I ever had, said Jeff Adams. Dutton is now suing the two deputies in the Rutherford County and federal court for $400,000. I don't blame you, and I hope you win. His lawsuit claims the deputies violated Dutton's Fourth Amendment rights, ignoring exculpatory information that explained his shaky field test. For example, the lawsuit notes a disabled driver's card hanging from Dutton's rearview mirror. Dutton also told deputies he had back issues, having a disc for decades, and balance problems. The lawsuit also said one of the deputies made assumptions referring to a comment he made that can be heard on the body camera video. Never known a sober person to shoot much pool. Wow! Can y'all believe that the officer actually said that? Well, we're not surprised anymore. Our new words Tammy remembers, like say what, right? Say what? Court documents also blamed Rutherford County for failing to train its deputies on how to appropriately handle individuals with disability or medical conditions that could affect sobriety tests. The stress dealing with it, what the court's going to come up with each time I had to go there, said Dutton, of the emotional toll it's taken on him. But Rutherford County's attorney said in court records that there was justifiable probable cause to make an arrest, including Dutton appearing disoriented with droopy eyes and slow speech. How would you know he's got droopy eyes? He's 70 something freaking years old. Your body sags when you get older, people. Do you not know that? As well as initially handing deputies a debit card instead of his license. Well, excuse us, right? For making a mistake. Say what? My daughter has lost her livelihood, falsely jailed. She still doesn't have her license back. I'd love to get that video. Oh yeah, you need to do that for sure, Tammy. It's, I mean, it's going on in so many states. They get falsely arrested, and there's some diabolical ones who just got it out for some people. And we know what happened to you, Tammy. You got to come on here sometime and let the people know, what happened to you. Okay. State Representative Lowell Russell, Republican of North, said that he contacted TBI after someone he knows was recently arrested for DUI while completely sober. So we went ahead and read that part a few minutes ago, right? Russell, a former highway patrol officer, also sent a letter to TBI director officially asking the agency to post lab test results for all DUI arrests in the Tennessee Incident Based Reporting System, or TIBRS database. Russell also plans to work with the state administrative office of the courts on its new 75 million database to make sure dismissed DUI cases are clearly posted or that the information can be easily given to the public if requested. The damage is done too because there are in these newspaper recent arrests, DUI. So people go in that little store, buy that little paper that shows the most recently arrest, and there they are. You're ruining so many people's reputations over this. It's not funny. The issue of sober DUI arrests also reached Governor Bill Lee during a recent press conference. Not to let alone, let me tell you on top of this how it also affects children. Because if you're wrongly accused of doing drugs or alcohol, that's another way for CPS and the government and the system to come and confiscate your children away. We spent a great deal of time in the last 3 years expanding training for our police departments, our sheriff's departments, and state police on appropriate policing methods that are nationally recognized as best practice. Well, Governor Bill Lee, that's well and said good right here, okay? We still want you to go into your buddy who you go to church with over there. Your buddy molested his daughter and you're standing beside him. His son ended up wanting to adopt the sister when he turned 18. He turned 18. Your buddy called the son and said it's batting practice when that was a lie that diverted him to go over there. And your buddy's son ended up dead. Y'all say that it was an accident that the car went backwards. There's all this evidence on the black box of the vehicle, which shows that the car only went forward. Only. Okay? So, Governor Lee, put your money where your mouth is. Put the justice, what you're trying to say, expanding training in our police departments. You already know your friend is guilty. We already know you're covered also with Senator Jack Johnson and that Judge Deanna Johnson, Governor Bill Lee. We already know that y'all stopped a lot of cases where the Sunday school teacher molested a 5-year-old boy. Okay? Y'all dropped the charges and you didn't do nothing about that being done. You didn't do nothing about the Senator Jack Johnson, Deanna Johnson, helping to dismiss a case on a 15-year-old boy at one of them church schools that was raped repeatedly by these other students. A 15-year-old, y'all said it's inadmissible. Y'all would not prosecute and help this guy get justice. Excuse me, Governor Bill Lee. I do not support you at all. I would never, ever vote for you ever again in my life. You are not a good role model and you do not really protect our children. And I will stand by that on Gracie Solomon's case. Grant Solomon. Gracie and Grant Solomon. They deserve justice and freedom. How about that? How about you standing up for this, for the people, all these child pedophiles and stuff like that? You're not defending them. But you got something to say here, but how about you doing what's right, Governor Billy? How about you doing what's right? I'm sorry, y'all, I get really mad on this issue. So, sober Tennessee woman spends 36 hours in jail for a DUI charge. And this was, let's see, when did this happen? So she was one of over 600 sober drivers. This was January the 13th, 2025, published then. Carly Hicks was driving home from a friend's baby shower late last July in Union City, Tennessee. She had a few airline shooter bottles of Jack Daniels in a car, but they were unopened. A state trooper pulled her over, assuming she may be drinking. The officer's body camera captured their interaction and showed the officer putting Hicks through a field sobriety test for a DUI and then asking about marijuana. Is there any marijuana in your vehicle? The officer asked Hicks. Because I can smell it. That's why I was asking. And we all know that's another setup that they use to be able to give us things. And we smell marijuana, so I think we got a right to examine your vehicle. What's the real reason why you stopped this lady? I don't know why. Hicks and her boyfriend said no and admitted to smoking 4 days ago in their apartment, but both were sober. Despite passing the field sobriety test, the officer tells Hicks she has to have someone to get her car. So Hicks tells the officer she can drive, but the officer insisted someone else drive based on what she just saw, and that's a no, the officer said, which means he wasn't going to let even the boyfriend drive. So he intentionally was going to have them both arrested, it looks like, right? So Hicks' phone call triggered the officer. To avoid further conflict, Hicks called her dad to get her car and told her dad the officer wasn't letting her drive home, even though the officer didn't find anything in her car. When the officer heard her say that to her dad, the officer pulled off his handcuffs and aggressively approached her. Like, you're telling on us? You're telling on us? We're going to shut you up. We're arresting you because you told. All right, we're shutting you up by doing this thing to you. All right, you're going to be under arrest, he said. The officer explained to her father that she performed poorly on a field sobriety test and was going to jail with a DUI. She spent 36 hours behind bars, underwent a blood test, and waited to speak with a judicial commissioner. Months later, her blood test results showed she was sober. No drugs or alcohol was detected in her system. You're being accused of endangering innocent lives on the road. I would never do anything like that to anyone, said Hicks during an interview with WSNB. My mugshot went around on display, just tarnishing my reputation as if I would put people's lives in danger on the road. She wasn't the only sober driver arrested with a DUI charge. Tennessee is proving to be a risky state for sober drivers, as over 609 drivers were wrongfully arrested for drunk driving last year. Last year, wow. Another driver wrongfully arrested last year, LaBrescia Beatty, is pushing her lawmakers to put a spotlight on the issues. Yes, y'all, Tennessee, put a spotlight on this and get the problem fixed. Stop giving all these police officers all this power, and that's what the problem is. Hold them accountable for their actions. When they do these falsely things and don't listen to people and they do it falsely and stuff, you run them, they lost their jobs. How are they going to end up making their rent? Are they losing their homes and everything else? Did they lose custody of their kids because of this police department's actions? You got to look at all the total picture of what's going on here. I since learned that due to work and everything that's going on, that over 600 have adjourned similar to what I have experienced. So for me, it's like, how do we go about change in this area? Lady said. So that's how it was. And so I'm fixing to mute my mic so that we could hear this and then probably do a commercial. So let me change the settings here. Y'all can tell I'm mad right now.
It's just so traumatizing. This woman, the latest in the investigation our Jeremy Finley has been doing here with WSMV4 Investigates. She was arrested for DUI while she was completely sober, and it comes as another driver wrongfully arrested is now going directly to lawmakers, demanding they address what they are calling a crisis. It is the latest development in Jeremy Finley's sobering problems investigation. Jeremy, you can hear the trauma and the voices of these innocent people.
Yeah, you can, and you can certainly understand it once you see the latest arrest video that we've obtained. One sober driver who understands this better than anybody says she will not stop until lawmakers take action.
We were visiting everything. My sister had a baby shower.
Last July, Carly Hicks arrived in this Union City park in her father's car. She had no idea this is how she would leave it.
And sorry. It's just so traumatizing.
Hicks and her boyfriend had come to the park not realizing it was already closed. They had unopened alcohol in the vehicle, but that wasn't what made police suspicious.
Is there any marijuana in the vehicle?
No, sir.
Because I can smell it, that's why I was asking.
Hicks admits she'd smoked 4 days before, but not that day or night, and agreed to a field sobriety test.
So you're gonna follow my finger with your eyes and your eyes only.
Following the test and the discovery of what looked like the remnants of marijuana in the car,
I ain't charging you with it, but I ain't gonna throw this away.
Hicks is told someone will need to come get the car.
I can drive.
Based off what we just saw, that's a no.
But I haven't done anything today.
And once on the phone with her father,
All right, you're gonna be under arrest.
Sir, he's coming. He's coming. He's coming.
No,
Sir, please. Please, this is my dad. Please.
hold on.
Please.
I'll talk to him in a second. Hold on. For now, put your hands behind your back.
You're being accused of endangering innocent lives on the road. I would never do anything like that to anyone.
months after Hicks was booked and remained in jail for 36 hours, her blood work came back. It showed she was completely sober at the time of her arrest. No alcohol, no drugs. The charge dismissed, but the damage already done.
My mugshot went around on display, just tarnishing my reputation as if I would put people's lives in danger on the road.
Labrisha Beatty understands it all too well.
It was a traumatic experience.
Like Hicks, she was arrested for DUI by a state trooper while she was sober. Now, she's demanding lawmakers take action. I think you have emailed every lawmaker in Tennessee.
I have.
She's not just emailing. She's going in person, meeting last month with lawmakers and staff, saying what WSMV4 Investigates first uncovered, that more than 600 sober people have been arrested for DUI in Tennessee in a 7-year period, is a crisis that the legislature must address.
How do we look into something that is so broken to bring about change? So this cannot happen again.
Wow. Okay, so Jeremy, this really comes down to those on-the-spot judgment calls by officers, right?
Yeah, that's right, Lauren. In Carly Hicks' case, the officer said he smelled marijuana, found what he thought was marijuana remnants, and said she failed the field sobriety test. But she was also completely sober. And she also hadn't committed any driving violations that got the officer's attention. He suspected and arrested her, and she was innocent. The obvious flaws in this system is what drivers want lawmakers to address, and we'll be following to make sure they do. Marius?
All right, Jeremy, we are keeping an eye on all of these stories. Thank you so much.
There was also a case, I don't know if y'all heard about it, but in Georgia, y'all remember the $2 bills? Y'all put a thumbs up or number one if y'all remember the $2 bills. And they still can be cashed out as real money, right? Because it's still legitimately, money. All right. What happened in Georgia, a boy took the $2 bill to school to pay for his lunch money. What then happened? Well, the school ended up saying that he tried to use fake money. They arrested this this young boy in Georgia for using a $2 bill that's not fake money. They tried to say that it was, what was that, when you make money, when you make up the money and all that? Yeah, say what? That's right, say what? So they arrested the boy, and all he was trying to do was pay with a $2 bill. And like our buddy Charles Rogers, Blackstone lawyer, said, "Man, if I would have known that, I would have went and got that boy, gave him $2 out of my own pocket or $5 out of my own." Yeah, counterfeit money. There you go, Tammy. But it wasn't counterfeit; it was for real. How dare they come into the school? And now that boy is going to be terrified of police officers. He did nothing at all wrong. And now the lawsuits against the people in Georgia. There are so many lawsuits going against Georgia for their bad policing and their bad behavior with the justice system over there. It's not funny. And I hope every one of the people win their cases. I hope all these people win their cases against them too. And TBI, I would appreciate too if y'all would step up too and be there for Gracie Solomon and get justice for for Grant Solomon, since he was murdered. Instead of saying, "Oh, the car backed up and dragged his body," the autopsy revealed there were no scrape marks on his body. Okay, so that likelihood of that TBI, and y'all know that too, is nil, none, zip, zilch. His baseball bat he usually took with him, his favorite baseball bat, was missing. And so they think that that's why the baseball bat is missing, because they believe that's what was used to hit him. Okay, well, thanks, every. I have a $2 bill. You're like, look at that. You said you got a $2 bill, and then David says, "Eric, don't go buy lunch." I love y'all. Let me say that again. Say what? But anyway, we need this injustice for these people that's got power, okay? They're using their power plays on innocent people. This is sickening. Y'all remember the one kid at school that was in kindergarten and he liked a girl at school and he just went up and he had kissed her. I don't know if they were boyfriend, girlfriend, or usually that's probably what him and that girl did outside of the school. Like they met each other, because some nationalities, that's like a hello. But anyway, did y'all know that 5-year-old ended up getting arrested for sexually abusing that 5-year-old because he went up and kissed the girl? Innocent. The innocence of children, and yet the government is corrupting our kids more and more. Yeah, the teacher said it's not a real bill because a lot of people have not even noticed and never even seen a real $2 bill before. But there are real $2 bills out there. It's crazy. But they got a lawsuit against them because evidently they were in the wrong. So otherwise, the parents wouldn't been able to have a lawsuit against them, right? That school's probably going to get sued too. I mean, could they not have just called the parents and say, this middle schooler right here is hungry. He tried to buy lunch, and he mistook and got fake money. At least call the parents, right? But instead, you got to call the police officer saying, "Oh, he's counterfeit, bringing money in counterfeit." Isn't that ridiculous? I might even tried it as a kid with that's what my parents gave me for lunch money. I might even tried it, you know. The kid's hungry, you know. But you wouldn't expect anything like that. I used to have several $2 bills too, and I spent them. I spent them at the store. Okay, well, everybody, God bless, and let's remember we need to fight for justice, do what's right, defend the oppressed. And I did. There was this. I want to tell y'all at Facebook. I posted about what about North Carolina, and somebody in the comments before I ever posted it from the initial post, the poster, the lady said, "Well, you know, North Carolina's new old news." Said that they need to put on their big girl panties, and they need to make. They don't have their hearts right with God. They ain't got God as number one. Number one, let me tell you this: North Carolina is still devastatingly hurt. They still need shelter. There are still bodies that's never been recovered over there. There's still a lot of people that's living in tents that needs a warm place. They're going over that repeatedly. It is a nightmare over there. They need the help. For somebody to say that's old news, excuse me. You want to say they need to pull up their big girl panties? Well, excuse me. If you were over there, how would you like living? No electricity, no plumbing, no heat, no way to go and get your groceries probably because there's roads and bridges out. And, you know, and you want to say put on your big girl panties? Excuse me. And that is really horrific. And then she wants to bring God into the picture because God would never have said anything like that, like put on your big girl panties. He would not have said that. He's like, show compassion for your fellow man. And who did God sit down with at the tables and stuff? He sat down with the sinners. The Pharisees didn't like that. They said, why is he sitting down with them? Y'all need to look into that story too, you know, in the Bible. Why is he sitting? Jesus even sat down with them. He went to save the lost. You know, he went to seek and save the lost. So we need to remember. And when I said that about the Isaiah chapter, also brought that into the equation on this Isaiah 117. Learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed. They are oppressed over there. Take out the cause of the fatherless. Plead the case of the widow. I mean, it don't say only help a widow, a Christian widow. It says plead the case of a widow. So we need to remember that we don't need to judge, that we need to try to help people out the best way we can. These people are hurting. And no, they don't need to pull up their big girl panties because I think their panties have been pulled up pretty bad themselves, you know? And even to judge and say they don't have God as number one. The Bible does say, judge not lest ye be not judged. For what measure ye judge will be judged to you. So when you're judging these other people saying, well, they need to pull their panties up and just tough it out and all this other kind of stuff, that is not Christian. So you got to remember how bad you're judging them. That's going to be judged towards you as well. So you better think before you speak. Yes, some are still living in tents. That's right. Some of these people are just coming on and having their kids taken and stolen from the CPS. Oh, you can't take care of your kids, so we're taking them away. But guess what? FEMA, you're not supplying them with the things that they can. They list their panties in the flood. They can't pull them up. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they lost their panties in the blood. They lost a lot of things. They lost their homes. They lost their vehicles, their livelihood, the roads. And then, for some of the people that tried to go help and rescue some of the people, what happened there? You know, they were told to turn around and go back, right? They were threatened that if you go on up that mountain and stuff like that, we'll arrest you. So, excuse me, it's really horrible. That's right. Well, I want to thank y'all for coming and everything. And I went beyond the state of Tennessee arrested, but we all know that this is abuse of power. What's going on in North Carolina too? This is them abusing their power big time. Okay, but that officer over there said we're going to arrest you if anybody tries to fly that helicopter. And some of y'all might say it's fake news, but no, we saw the videos. We saw when they were actually had a helicopter going down trying to destroy some of the products that people brought. We saw that y'all were over there with guns and like that for not letting some of the people get the food and the water. We saw all this kind of stuff. We saw the people trying to donate food and water to these people, and y'all were threatening them. Y'all were taking a lot of the food and supplies for yourselves away so that y'all can help these people that's illegal aliens. Yet y'all don't be giving these illegal aliens all this money and all that when they could be buying these products. Yeah, these people really needed it. And y'all said y'all give each of these families so much money. No, you did not, because y'all said, oh, you didn't qualify. You didn't qualify. Well, how would they, even if they were given a check, how could they get over there to get to the bank? How could they use money to spend to go, buy whatever? $75 or $750 is just a slap in the face. You know what I'm saying? They stole the generators also. That's not good at all. And say, what does DSS? I take a trip to Rockingham County, see if their children are there. Well, that's not may not be a bad idea. That may not be, and they don't need to fault him about not being able to take care of the kids if they have the supplies. I want to thank the Amish for going over there and building tiny homes. They're stepping up and helping what they can. Now, if a lot of us Christians got together, the Christians in that area would get together and help the Amish to build these homes and to help out instead of just talking about it. How about some of y'all in the area go ahead and walk your Christian walk and don't just talk about it, do it. Get over there and do it if you're able, physically able to do it. That's doing the Lord's work. Don't just go out here and just sit back and say it's bad what's happening. Well, go do something about it to help, right? Go fix the problem. I mean, I wouldn't want to go through that situation what North Carolina went through. I wouldn't tell them just toughen up. I wouldn't tell them I don't want to hear about it. How dare anyone say anything like that? That's old news and pull up their big girl panties, right? But anyway, I'm on the warpath a little bit today because I was really I want y'all to forgive me because I was really thinking I wish something bad would happen to her so that she could understand what's going on. Maybe even in a dream of her, bringing it to light, about the things she could lose. And she's judging all them about losing all of that. They lost a lot of family members and all that on top of it. Pull up your big girl panties. Excuse me. That just don't fly with me. I'm sorry. They just don't fly. Well, thank y'all so much, and God bless you. And I got to beg for forgiveness because I was wanting that girl wanted some way to be taught a lesson, but I don't have to even ask about that because guess what? God's the one that would do justice. God's the one that will handle all this. Red Cross try to do what they can do, but if they're stopped with by the government, I'm not able to do it. Hopefully the Red Cross would, but there's been instances where, even they have turned their back. because we need more people over there and helping out. I heard that they're supposed to give a lot more money. I hate what's going over there in California. I hate anybody losing their livelihood, their homes. I don't care if you're rich or poor or black or white or Hispanic. You're losing your things, but they need to really care about what happened over there in North Carolina and Tennessee. And somebody pinpointed and said, what about Tennessee? Everybody's forgetting about Tennessee and that one region that was hit too. So we need to remember them too. Let's continue to pray for them that they get their needs met, their daily survival needs, and the other things. Bring back hope for that, for these people. Bring back love and compassion to these people. Show them that we actually care about them, that we're not just sweeping them to the side. Thanks, everyone, and God bless y'all.